Welcome to Dunndark. So, it's been about a day since I got the first ending. I'm still recovering a little, but I've been thinking it over and a few things came to mind. I still don't quite understand why I was so urgently trying to complete her own little programming projects and stuff. One day she tried to stay inside and just program and not go outside, which is rather out of character for her. So I was wondering if she was working on some sort of secret project or something, but that never happened. So unless I missed something, I'm kind of confused about her motivations there. Also, I thought the nosebleed scene was kind of foreshadowing something. Maybe she would have some sort of biological breakdown now that she was in a real human body or something. But I mean, it didn't even foreshadow her death really, because death, you know what I mean. Because there wasn't even really any blood there. She just got, young he snapped her neck, so there was no blood, and then he threw her in the river or beach or whatever. You know what I mean? You usually throw them in the river, but this isn't. This takes place in somewhere. Anyways, was the nosebleed scene just there to shock the reader and give an excuse for some period jokes or something, or was it supposed to mean something more? I don't know. If I'm missing something here, please feel free to leave a comment correcting me. There's nothing on the internet quite like getting corrected, it's just so much fun. It really makes my day, so please do. Anyways, so based on the guide on Steam, I should only have to choose split up at the beach to get the other ending, but I'll also do the scene where we leave I to go to the arcade. So when we go with Yume instead of with I, basically. I'll do that for completion's sake, yeah. So I think save number 4 here, yeah. So we go with Yume instead. Can I come with you?
Why? I'll be fine. Don't you want to stay here with I?
Nah, besides, I just end up hanging out with her new friends. She's not going anywhere. You're the one who needs company.
Well, if you insist, then sure.
I walk up to I to tell her I'm leaving. She's still engrossed in the conversation with the arcade guys. It feels so weird to be back to Slice of Life after that ending. I still a little traumatic, I'd say, with that ending. Yeah, a little traumatic. A little.
Sup, homie?
Sup, homie? What you just call me? Anyways, I'm gonna be going to the university with Yumi. University with Yumi? Who's Yumi? Okay, we'll come back and pick you up when you're done. When we're done.
Okay. I'll be here.
I immediately goes back to talking with her new friends. I must say, her skills to adapt to new crowds are definitely much better than mine. Yumi, and I exit the arcade and start walking to the university. The Yumiversity. I can finally breathe. How can I stay inside that place for so long?
Right? And she's been talking to everyone non-stop since we arrived. Do you think the whole robot thing has something to do with it?
Probably. Anyways, why did you two decide to come here of all places?
Well, last night we somehow got to talking about games and stuff. Considering I don't have a console and really only play games on PC, we figured we could play together if we went to an arcade. Plus, it beats sitting in my room all day, right?
You don't have a console, but then you can't play Vita VNs like Norn 9. Sorry. Nothing is better than sitting in one's room for an entire day. Definitely not a plan I would have come up with.
You're most certainly a character, Young. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure I love moping around just as much as you, but I also acknowledge the fact that a life of seclusion and pastries doesn't do much for my figure.
Says the baker. That's a valid point. Either way, I'm sorry if I was a bother last night. She's like a child trapped in a human body. Kind of.
It's fine, I had a lot of fun. I got to know more about I as well.
Sounds like I missed out on a lot, but I guess that's to be expected when you spend time with I. Oh yeah, I guess the other thing I was wondering about was that how exactly did the government guy, Seiji, how did he figure out about I and her body? Because he found out somehow. I mean, Young suspected Yume was the one who somehow told him, but I don't. That doesn't seem super likely, so I don't know actually. They never really explained that. I don't think. We arrived at the university and entered the faculty building. Yume asked me to wait around while she visits the professor's room. A minute or two later, she comes back with a small folder in her hands.
Alrighty, let's go.
That's it? We came all this way for a folder?
Yep. I told you it wasn't worth your time, didn't I?
Well, I guess anything's better than being cooped up in that arcade.
If you say so. Shall we head back?
We shall. We start walking back to the arcade. Oh, new CG. There we go. Same road, same person, but somehow it feels different. Come to think of it, this is the first time I've ever really been alone with Yume. She's surprisingly easy to talk to. Strangely enough, I feel comfortable around her. I actually feel comfortable around her. She's like a less hyperactive eye. Fair. It's bizarre, I've been running into her at the bakery for so long now and never thought about talking to her. Call me a recluse, I guess.
So, I was wondering.
What's up?
I'm still confused about how I, came to be. I know you said she made herself the way she is, but surely you had to have some influence on her, no?
What do you mean?
I mean, this whole artificial intelligence thing? How did you do it?
Oh, well, I mean, I don't know. It seemed pretty simple to me. You just create a machine learning algorithm based on how people learn and, hop, skip, and a jump, and you're there. I forgot the specific structure, but I can tell you there's a lot of trial and error involved. Yeah, okay, here's the thing about machine learning. Is that programming machine learning stuff and debugging it it just sucks, okay? It's basically like throwing darts at a wall, I find. I mean, maybe if I had better theoretical knowledge, I would be as dart throwing. But, basically, you try something and then it doesn't learn, and then you tweak the algorithm a little bit, and then it still doesn't learn, or maybe it learns a little better or a little worse, and you tweak something else, and hopefully by, the end of the night, you finally got something that's a little better than what you started with, and you wake up the next morning and try again. It's a little tricky.
Wait, so this learning algorithm, I've actually thought of trying to code something like that before, but it never really worked out. I know things like artificial neural networks exist, but those aren't good enough to imitate a person's learning ability. What was different about yours?
Well, first of all, I don't ever really go by the textbooks. I just sort of figured out my own way of doing things. As for how it works, well, it's a little hard to explain.
Can you try? I'm really curious.
Yes, I'm also curious here. What are you talking about? Yeah. The way I look at it, there are 3 key components that define human intelligence. Instinct, knowledge, and memory. The 3 teams in Pokemon Go. Sorry. Or to put it in a programmer's perspective, input, analysis, and storage.
That seems simple enough.
Here's the thing. It really comes down to how I structure the analysis code. Data is stored based on the relevance to other data. So, in a sense, the way you know something is essentially how you relate that thing to another thing you know. Okay, sort of like a clustering algorithm. The entire system is recursive in that respect. Yeah, I had difficulties designing it, but I managed my solution after digging deep enough. When I created the program, it somehow managed to correct and improve itself all on its own. I wish things like that happened in real life.
Wait, so it was automated? A self-writing program?
In layman's terms, yes. Or self-modifying code, you mean? Or that kind of thing? I have the general idea of how it works and how it learns, but I don't exactly necessarily have any control over it.
But don't you think that's dangerous? What if the program turned out like one of those crazy movie robots?
And I guess that's what the failsafe is for. That's why it breaks down after a certain date. Right. I was afraid of that, yes. That's why I designed countermeasures for it. That's what he said.
Countermeasures?
I'm afraid that's something I'd rather not get into. It's a bit personal. I see. So if I had done this scene, we would have gotten a little more foreshadowing here. Because in my route, all I really knew was, oh, I thought Young just created a robot for his, to do his work for him or something, and that the countermeasures were just a bug or something.
I understand. But still, you created a functional algorithm for learning. That's insane. What about Ai's personality? How was that determined? Considering the program, she should have picked up your mannerisms, but you two are almost entirely different.
That's where things get a little weird. On paper, she should have taken after me, but thanks to the internet, she became a sassy little girl.
Oh, the internet. Yeah, that makes sense. They tend to ruin things a lot.
I think he's lucky that that I didn't end up like, Microsoft Tay. If you ever heard of that. Tay was a AI chatbot that Microsoft created. If you don't know, it's a big thing earlier in the year, was it? Or last year? It's a while ago. And basically, Tay was let out on the internet. You could talk to her on Twitter, but then she learned about people taught her bad things, and then she became this sort of like racist Nazi chatbot, and it was bad, and Microsoft shut her down. She was supposed to be like a teenage girl or something, and she just became not the kind of person you'd want to represent your Microsoft. So yeah, what I'm saying is, Young's lucky that I didn't end up like that. Then, I learned basically everything there is to know from the internet. I must say, it was definitely rough seeing her grow up. There was a period of time when she talked about nothing other than ridiculous government conspiracies. And there's another period of time when she just shouted out racial slurs. Oh, okay, I guess she did do the whole Tay thing. Well, there you go. I loved explaining things. Oh, and then there was a month where all she said was, "Here come that boy." it's that boy. Wow, wow, such dodge, or doje, or however you say it. It took her almost a year before she settled into how she is now. I love my dank Maymays.
Well, she definitely blossomed into a beautiful young girl.
It's kind of surprising. More or less. So, be nice to her, I guess. I don't want her learning bad things.
Oh, don't worry. She'll be learning all the good things from me.
Good things. What is that face? And why was good italicized?
What are you talking about? This is my normal face.
No, it's not. I know your normal face. That's not it. Yume giggles. Now I think about it, she's actually really cute. Why did it take me so long to notice this?
Hey.
Hey. Oh, shit. Did she catch me staring at her?
We're here.
Ugh. Right. Well then, we just need to find Ai.
I don't see that group of guys anymore. Maybe they took Ai somewhere more private?
Oh. Hey, don't even joke about that. We switch around the arcade, but don't have any luck. Suddenly, an annoying voice appears out of thin air.
Hey, who's that beautiful lady over there?
Is this it? Unfortunately, this game doesn't have a skip, what you've already seen function as far as I know.
Oh, hey, there you are. We were just looking for you.
So I don't exactly know where the new text
I've been
ends.
behind you guys this whole time.
And why'd you say anything?
Too easy.
Let's head out then.
Oh, before we go, can we play that shooting game again?
Right, and then they play the game and compete
I'm
and
pretty
stuff.
good at it now. I think I figured out the ultimate strategy.
It's at like level 50 or something. Is it shoot everything? Oh yeah, I remember this line. Okay. So we've seen that. Okay, well, then let's do the split up and then hopefully get the good ending. Let's see this. Okay. Split up. Let's split up. We can cover more ground that way. Famous last words.
Good idea. I'll head this way.
I mean, there's not that many ways to head. It's a beach. I take off in the opposite direction of Yume. There's only 2 directions. The way I'm headed is only slightly different from Crump's path, but there are only so many directions you can go in. I doubt Ai is in the middle of the ocean. Is that foreshadowing? Is that foreshadowing? Though I wouldn't put it past her. I doubt Ai is in the middle of the ocean. Wow. Wow. Bad taste. Okay. After searching for a few minutes, I find her playing with something in the sand and jog up to her. Ai, what are you doing over here?
Young, look at this.
She points to a hermit crab crawling around a hole she dug. Its bright orange shell probably caught her attention. Are you crazy? I've been looking everywhere for you. You can't just run off wherever you want, whenever you want. What if you got lost?
Hey, chill. I'm not going to get lost.
To be fair, yes, it's the beach. There's only 2 ways you can go.
More importantly, can I take this little guy home?
You want a hermit crab? Absolutely not.
What? Why not?
Here's a better question. Why do you want to?
He's cute. I promise I'll take care of him.
It's not the problem. Taking care of hermit crabs isn't as easy as you think. You have to give them food and a sponge and... You know, maybe it really isn't that hard. Yeah. Hermit crabs aren't too hard of a pet to take care of, last time I checked. Either way, the thing has a life of its own. Leave it where it belongs. She goes quiet and stares at Hermit the Crab. Maybe it's a little too hard on her.
Where it belongs, huh?
Ooh. Are you implying something? I let out a sigh. Hope she isn't getting all depressed on me again. Listen, you can play with it as long as we're here, but you can't take it home. You'll be happier in the sand anyway. I smiles at me before turning back to Hermit the Crab and rubbing its shell with her index finger. Take a seat beside her and watch her play. Her movements are gentle, compassionate. Like, if she moves too quickly, the crab will get scared and run away. She makes him a fort out of sand and seashells. As soon as the sun begins to set, the crab burrows back into the sand and I waves her goodbyes. She stands up the moment he disappears from her sight.
I guess we should go meet up with the others now, huh?
We walk back to our meeting spot. Trump shows up at the same time as us. At the same times as us? I'm surprised we never bumped into him. Yume is busy talking to another group of people, presumably her friends.
Hey, you found her.
She was playing with the hermit crabs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You scared the hell out of me, kid. Never do that again.
Crabs are basically water spiders, to be fair.
I'd feel terrible if anything happened to you.
Don't worry, Crump. It would be my fault, not yours.
Even still, we may not know each other very well, but I'm the one who invited y'all here. I'd have no choice but to blame myself if anything bad happened.
I'm sorry for making you worry, Crump.
I'm just glad you're alright.
I'm just glad you're alright. It's fine. Just say the lines. Once again, Crump is surprisingly compassionate underneath that tough exterior.
Anyway, my friends want to hang out for a bit before we head home, so I'll let you two do your own thing for now. I'll have my phone with me in case you guys need to reach me.
Oh, that reminds me. I wanted to meet up with a few old friends at some point today, so I'm gonna head off myself.
So is the text gonna be the same here until we get to, I guess, the ending? Wherever that is?
Text me when y'all want to head home. I'll be around.
And just like that, there were the 2 of us. So what you want to do?
I don't know. What else is there to do at the beach?
Right, okay, and then they go to Reaper's Peak and all that, and then they
Sure,
then they
but
go
if
look
you're
out there.
luring me to some secret spot where you can take advantage of me, I'm going to call the cops.
No, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah, they have for Reaper's Peak. Okay, and then I think I'll skip from here up to when there's new text. So, we'll see you then. So I think this is the part where it changes. We're past the part where Yume and I leave through the floor after Young explains the purpose of the project and the failsafe and all that, the countermeasures, you know. And now Young is just waiting for Seiji to call him or find him in his house. He's by himself now in the house. Now I turn my phone back on, I just need to wait for Seiji. I figure the chances of him calling or showing up are about the same. I doubt it'll do much, but I turn off all the lights and sit on the bed. Wait for it. It will get different. I need to come up with a plan for when he gets here. I go over everything I can possibly say to him again and again in my head. Each option cleverly laid out, depending on what he says or does. It's only noon, but I've closed the blinds tight enough so that no sunlight is able to leak into the room. The only light present in the house is that of my computer monitor. Everything is silent. Reminds me of when I first moved in. It was just me, my bed, and my computer. It seems so long now. I'm running out of time. What else is there to do? Where else is there to go? At this point, I can't think of anything. Just keep myself composed has proven to be challenging enough, but this isn't even fair. Seiji is powerful enough to search every corner of the damn world if he wants to. If we go into hiding, who is going to prevent him from doing exactly that? What if we tell everyone about Ai so that Seiji can't just steal her away from the public eye? 3 dots. No, it wouldn't work. In fact, he'd probably turn it against us and publicly label me as some sort of mad scientist or something. Plus, who knows how many other people would start coming after Ai if they found out about her. Publicizing this is out of the question. What else? Still struggling to think of anything. Are we really out of options? I can't give up now. There has to be something. Maybe there is something I can do. Seiji is the true threat here, not I. If I can find a way to get rid of him, maybe we can keep this entire project under wraps. Even if it's just a little longer, it's something I need to follow through with. See, so he has a different plan this time other than just sort of giving up. I have no idea how I'm going to do this, but knowing Seiji hasn't opened up to anyone else about this project means no one else probably knows about what he's doing right now. He's probably just gone off the grid for the time being while he looks for Ai. If worse comes to worse, got my hands dirty before. With, like, Adam, I guess. I can do it again. As long as it's to save Ai. I decided long ago, probably longer than I can even recall, that I would never let anyone come between us. Not Seiji, not anyone. She is my greatest achievement. I close my eyes and try to concentrate on the task at hand. This is it, huh? Our last stand. I'll have to do this the moment he gets here. Even a second of hesitation could tip him off and ruin everything. Sorry, Seiji. I know you aren't a bad person, but I told you I'd never let you take her. And that is one promise I do not intend to break. 3 dots. 6 dots. 9 dots. I open my eyes the second my phone rings. I guess I dozed off while lying in wait. I glanced down at my phone to find Seiji's name on the caller ID. This is it. This is the call that's gonna decide my future. After taking a deep breath, I pick up the phone. What do you want, Seiji?
Well, you certainly sound more rational than when we last spoke.
Were you trying to scare me or something? I thought you were coming for us.
Oh, I am. Don't worry about that. It's all just a matter of time.
Why is he taking so long? Is he just physically far away or something? Until what?
Until she comes begging to me, of course. You know, after she learns that you're in danger.
Oh, he's gonna capture Young and... Okay, then she'll come to him. Oh, I see. There you go.
So how about we spare that part and you just give her to me? How does that sound?
Sounds like you're running out of options.
Oh no, I'm just getting started.
He hangs up. Well, that went better than expected. That phone call confirmed 3 things. First, Seiji doesn't know about Yume at all. If he did, he would have mentioned her by now. Maybe, I mean, unless he's trying to keep that not known so that Young doesn't know that he knows about Yume. I mean, duh. And secondly, he wouldn't be coming today. If he was actually going to, he would have shown up by now. The call was just to keep me in check. Finally, he underestimates me. He thinks I'm in the palm of his hand. Little does he know, I have a plan of my own. And it's time to set that plan into action. I walked to the table where I had laid out Ai's cell phone earlier and placed mine directly next to it. Without thinking twice, I grabbed a hammer out of the utility drawer and smashed both phones into pieces, making sure that even the SIM cards don't make it out in one piece. Immediately after, I walk over to the computer, disassemble it, and break every single part individually. Jeez. I even break the monitor into pieces. I probably didn't need to break half these things, but I figured I might as well since I'm already in destruction mode. Good point. After every last piece of technology is destroyed, I grab an industrial-strength garbage bag from underneath the sink and toss everything inside. After double-checking to make sure it's all gone, I throw it in my jacket. And I throw my jacket on and head outside with my bag over my shoulder. This should do it. I even had time to clean up the place a bit. Luckily for me, the streets are dead tonight. There isn't a single passerby in sight to witness a character as suspicious as me, draped in black and toting around an overstuffed garbage bag. Without looking back, and towards the bakery, trying to stick to the right side of the street and avoid the lights just in case someone happens to pass by. When I finally arrive, I walk right in. It's dark, but the bakery should be open by now. After hearing the door open, Yume pops out from behind the counter. She looks scared.
Young! Thank goodness. Did you see Ai on the way over?
On the way over? Wasn't she supposed to be with you?
She just left to go look for you. She left a note about taking the back alleys home.
Oh, okay, yeah, so she still leaves in this timeline. That makes sense, because we didn't change anything with that. I don't know why choosing to split up caused him to have a whole nother train of thought after I and Yume left through the trapdoor. I'm not sure why he's so much more motivated this time. Because he split up? I don't really see the connection here. Because last time he sort of, descended into despair and stuff, and Yume slapped him, and he choked out Ai, and, it was a bad time. It was a bad time.
But she was
dark.
worried about you. Young, I'm so sorry.
It's fine, Yume. I'm sure she'll come back here when she realizes no one's home.
But what if Seiji...
Seiji. Maybe that's how you say it. I don't know. I'm sorry. Hey, it's an English VN. I don't have to be super accurate, right? I mean, they call him Jung and Young at the same time, so hey. Don't be too hard on me on the name pronunciation. I don't think he's coming tonight.
What? What happened?
He called to remind me he was going to take Ai from me. Thing is, he wouldn't have called again if he was actually going to go through with it today. It's like he wants me to get away or something. Yeah, what's the deal there? Well, it does seem kind of odd how Seiji's acting if he really wants to get to Young to get to Ai or something.
But what if he sends someone else?
I think this is a job he'd want to handle personally. I doubt he'd send anyone on a retrieval mission for an android that apparently no one but the four of us know about.
Well, if you say so.
Anyways, I'm only here to talk to you, Yume.
Me?
Yes, but no one else can be listening.
Don't worry, my parents are already asleep upstairs. What's going on?
I dropped the garbage bag and the floor and sit at our usual table. You may follow suit. So, I want you to keep doing this.
Sitting?
No. I want you to keep taking care of Ai. I want you to take her with you.
Wait, take her where?
To wherever you're going next week.
What? Are you insane?
Just hear me out. Hear me out. It's not like she's gonna rely on you or anything. She has money for anything she needs. Plane tickets, rent, food, you name it. The point is, I want you to be there for her. Apart from me, you're all she has, and the fact is...
You realize how crazy this sounds, right? I don't care about money or plane tickets or whatever. You can't just spring something like this on me all of a sudden.
Well, I mean, we're kind of at a crisis scenario here. I know it's crazy, but it's our only option. She'll be safer with you than she will be with me.
Okay, I get that. But what about you?
Don't worry about me. Store swings open to the image of Ai trying to catch her breath.
Young, you gave me a heart attack. Why weren't you at home?
To be fair, you weren't supposed to come back there.
What are you talking about? Here I am getting all worked up and...
Ai, come here. There's something we need to talk about. She staggers over to the table, still catching her breath, and sits next to me. I want you to go with Yume when she leaves the country. I wonder why I'm kind of wondering, like, why isn't this a true ending? Like, he seems so much more composed here. Seems like the other one felt like more like a bad ending, you know? I don't know if this will end well, but I'm just saying. The other one felt more like a bad ending. I want you to go with Yume when she leaves the country.
Yume is leaving the country?
Oh,
I still haven't told her.
right, well, what do you say?
Okay. I guess that's fine.
Really, it's gonna be that easy.
I don't know. I mean, if you think that we all need to go to another country to hide, I don't mind. I trust you.
No. You're not understanding me. I'm not going.
What? Why? Why aren't you coming?
It's Seiji. He has eyes on me, Ai. He has eyes on me, Ai. And no matter where I go, he'll be able to find me. That's just the kind of relationship he and I have. But Seiji doesn't know about Yume. He thinks you're completely dependent on me, and he's gonna use me to lure you out. That's why you need to go with Yume. You'll never be safe as long as we're together.
But what about you? What are you going to do?
He's gonna kill Seiji. Huh. Don't worry about me. I'm sure we'll see each other again someday.
But what if he catches you?
Well, then he catches me. Well, there you go.
But that's suicide! I'm not leaving! I want to stay with you!
I don't know if he'd kill him. Listen, this isn't a choice, it's... He stands up in the middle of the sentence.
No! Stop it! Why should you have to sacrifice yourself to save me? How is that fair? It's me that he wants, not you!
Listen. It isn't just you that he wants. No, he needs both of us. He thinks every last bit of information pertaining to the project belongs to him. And if he catches me, the worst he can do is interrogate me. But I won't bite. He won't get an ounce of information out of me as long as I live. If he catches you, it's game over for the both of us. That's why you need to leave. Her mouth opens, but no words escape. She desperately wants to come up with a counter-argument, but she knows I'm right. I'm not being a sacrifice. I'm just trying to fix the mistakes I made. Please, do this for me.
But what if I don't see you again?
This is no different from your first sleepover. You're just going away with Yume, but this time it's just for a little while longer. I'm sorry, but I kept my promise of following you here, didn't I? I'm promising you right here, right now, that we'll see each other again someday. You have to trust me, okay? Once you're out of the country, you're free, and I'll come meet you as soon as I can. She finally sits back down. You okay with this as well, right, Yume?
Well, I mean, if that's what you think is best. Yes, I'm okay with it.
Good. Thank you. It might be a little while before we can talk again, but I'll figure something out.
Wait, but what about all your things? Won't you need clothes and stuff?
I think you're forgetting that I have enough money to last 5 lifetimes. Dang, you loaded. Wow. Anyways, I'm getting late. It's getting late. I'm getting late. I'm getting lit. No, it's getting late. I should probably get going. Thank you again, and I'm sorry. I pick up the bag and throw it over my shoulder.
Young,
She calls out my name as soon as I start to move.
take care.
Aww. I smile at her and turn around. As soon as I reach the door, I stop myself. Part of me doesn't want to leave. Part of me wants to stay right here for the rest of my life. But I know that can't happen. Instead, I leave a few last words before my journey with her comes to an end. There's a whole new world there for you, A new life, a new home, new experiences. You're going to meet new people, better people. Along with them, maybe even some new enemies. By the time we meet again, you'll have so many new things to share, and I'll listen to all of them. All of your new stories, your new discoveries, new jokes, new rants. I look forward to it. I start remembering all the times we've been together and begin to break down. Even though it's been such a short time, she's had that body, so much has happened. So much has yet to happen. I'm trying my hardest to hold back the tears, but it isn't working. I'm not brave enough for politics. No, I'm not brave enough to look back at to see if she's crying, but I'm sure she is. I can hear my frantic sobbing from what feels like miles away. You're human now, I move my trembling hand away from my eyes and wrap it around the doorknob, pushing it open as I leave everything behind. I exit the building with nothing more than a garbage bag full of broken computer parts to my name. Every last shred of evidence pertaining to will soon be gone. And she'll finally be able to live the life she's always wanted. She'll be free. Huh. Is that the end? He just leaves. And I is free. Goes off with Yume. Credits? Credits. So why is this the good end and the other one's the true end? You know? Like, in that case, I mean, yes, I guess this is good in the sense that it was a better outcome, depending on how you, actually, most ways you look at it, it was a better outcome. I mean, I is less dead, Young is less hated by Yume, that's helpful. I mean, and it's open-ended enough, you could also sequel hook this ending. I mean, you could write a sequel out of this, definitely. I mean, you could talk about what happens when Young and Seiji confront each other, and what happens to Ai when she goes off to new and better things, and along with Yume. There's stuff to write there, too. Oh, and here's a post-credit scene. Okay. I love you, Ai. I always have. You are my greatest achievement. My pride. I would do anything for you. I just wish we could have been together longer. I arrive at Reaper's Peak with the garbage bag still slumped over my shoulder. This place always did calm me down. My hands no longer shaking, some of the last bit of strength I have in. I toss the bag off the cliff into the ocean below. So instead of tossing Ai off the cliff, he tosses the bag of computer parts off the cliff. That's it, huh? There's no more evidence. There's not a single scrape of Ai's past left to be uncovered. And there's nothing left to connect her to Seiji. 3 dots. Nothing but me. Before I knew it, I'm smiling, staring at the dark, starry sky. I wonder how much it would hurt to fall from here. That's what he says in the previous ending. Wait a minute. Is that supposed to imply he kills himself? Really? I mean, I saw it as, again, it's left open-ended. I mean, I know. But is that supposed to be the implication? That Ai has nothing to tie her to Young. And for some reason, Seiji can track Young, but not Ai for... I don't know why. But he just can. And, yeah, and that he's the last bit of evidence. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so, like at the end of the last video, here's my thoughts on the game and on the ending and such. First of all, on the game overall, I'd recommend the game. It's worth $5 at the very least. The achievement for this ending, the good ending, has a description which says, "The price of a life." Does this imply that Young gave his life to save Ai? I mean, that would be the obvious interpretation at the very least. I read a few of the developers' comments on the Steam forums. The post-credits scene in the true end is sort of what the whole story was written to get to. The developers sort of imagined that scene and then, oh, that would be really cool, let's write a story to get there, you know? I have to admit, the idea of a robot waking up after being killed is pretty cool, especially underwater. Maybe a little cheesy, but cool. The developer said that it did end up being darker than expected, and yeah, it was dark. It was really, really dark. Usually the darkest ending in a game is not the true canon ending, but I sort of understand now why Carpe Diem Reboot is that way. If the game was sort of made as a way to get to the whole waking up reboot robot scene, well, then of course that ending would be the canon ending, because that's the ending sort of the point of the game. The developer also said that the whole story of Ai is beyond the scope and budget of this game, that there's more to the character maybe, in the character's arc, and that he had to basically end it somewhere. But on the other hand, the developer said that this doesn't mean there'll necessarily be a sequel that tells the rest of the story of I, or at least part of it. But, you know, I mean, I get it if the developer wants to make a different VN about something that's not related to the same series. I get it. That's fair. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. In the true ending, not this ending. In the true ending, I think all 3 of the main cast would probably leave the town. Yume, of course, was already leaving, and she would have even less to stay for if I was gone. So, yeah, she would leave. I would imagine Young would go back to the Kanyashenti, probably, after sorting himself out emotionally. He's probably pretty done living by Seji's rules and doing the project and all that after, you know, everything that's happened. It's probably pretty done with him. And I, of course, would be looking probably for, like, June, Young, or maybe Seiji. It's hard to say. But yeah, she'd be looking for someone, and then she would leave to look for them. So, in that ending, in the true ending, I think Toshi, the mechatronics engineer guy, I think he got the best outcome, probably. I mean, he got to learn programming skills from Yume, and rekindle his love for robotics. Yeah, he probably won't see his new friends again, considering, as I said, they're probably all leaving. But he did know them super well, so, you know, it's not that bad. If/when the developer releases their next game, I'll play it on this channel. It doesn't have to be in the same series, I'll play it whatever. If the developer wants to do something else, that's cool too. But anyways, that's it. It's been quite the series here. It's my first series I've actually finished, which is kind of crazy to think about it. I mean, it's a shorter game than some of the other games I've played, so that's fair too. But it's a good length. I think that's a good length. Like, I mean, as much as I like, you know, getting to episode 45 on Steins Gate Zero, I mean, it's just a game that doesn't take 45 episodes. I'm just saying. But yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time in a different series or something.